An opal is not a crystal. It has no repeating atomic lattice. It is made of billions of tiny glass spheres, each one between 100 and 300 nanometers wide, stacked in perfect rows like a microscopic fruit market. And that geometry is the only reason it produces color at all. That is not a metaphor. That is literally what is inside the stone on your grandmother's ring. And here is where it gets truly unsettling. If you were somehow miniaturized and placed inside a forming opal while it was building itself around you, the physics of what would happen to your body is not what you expect. It would not crush you. It would not dissolve you. It would slowly, methodically, replace you, sphere by sphere, at the atomic level, without you feeling a single thing until it was already done. Let's talk about what opal actually is, because the textbook version stripped out everything fascinating. Opal forms when silica-rich water seeps into cracks in rock. That part sounds boring, but here is the part that should keep you awake. The silica in that water doesn't crystallize the way salt does when you evaporate seawater. It self-assembles. The silica molecules aggregate into perfect nanospheres, tiny glass beads, and those beads settle gravitationally into layers. The process takes anywhere from 5 million to 6 million years for a single centimeter of gem-quality opal to form. 1 centimeter. 6 million years. Your entire civilization is geological noise compared to a single opal earring. Now here is the physics that would destroy you from the inside. Imagine you are shrunk down to roughly 1 micrometer tall, about the size of a bacterium, and you are standing in the fluid-filled void between silica spheres as they begin to settle around you. The spheres are arriving slowly. The fluid is a dilute silicic acid solution, roughly the same pH as a weak lemon juice. That part wouldn't kill you instantly. But silicic acid has a deeply strange property called biosilicification affinity. Silica does not just sit next to organic material. Under the right conditions, it chemically bonds to it. It coats it. It infiltrates it. Living cells have actually evolved specific proteins just to prevent this from happening. Your body right now is constantly in low-level chemical negotiation with dissolved silica in your bloodstream, keeping it from doing what it desperately wants to do, which is to turn you into rock. At the microscale, inside a forming opal, that negotiation fails. The concentration of silicic acid in opal-forming fluid is between 100 and 400 parts per million, high enough that your cellular membranes would begin to experience silica deposition within hours. Not from outside pressure. From infiltration. Silica molecules are small enough, roughly 0.3 nanometers, to slip through compromised cell membranes and begin polymerizing inside the cytoplasm. This is exactly how fossil wood forms. Not by replacement from outside in, by infiltration from inside out. The organic matter doesn't get pushed aside. It gets encased, molecule by molecule, in a growing silica matrix. The shape is preserved. Everything else is gone. You would still look like you. For a while. If this blew your mind, subscribe right now. We cover the science that textbooks deliberately made boring because the real version is almost too strange to publish. Now here is the second layer, and this one genuinely reframes the first. The opal spheres settling around you are not passive. They are light machines. When those spheres are between 150 and 300 nanometers in diameter and stacked in orderly arrays, they create something called a photonic crystal. The gaps between spheres are precisely tuned to the wavelengths of visible light. Red light, green light, blue light. They diffract at different angles depending on the sphere spacing. That is why opal flashes different colors as you tilt it. The stone is not pigmented. It is structured. It produces color through geometry alone. Now consider this. The silicified version of you, encased inside this forming opal, would eventually become part of that photonic crystal structure. Your shape, your hand, your face, your outline, would be an irregularity in the sphere array. And that irregularity would produce its own diffraction pattern. Light passing through the stone millions of years later would bend around the ghost of your preserved form in a way that is optically distinct from the surrounding opal. A gemologist cutting that stone in the year 50 million CE would see an anomaly in the fire of the stone. They wouldn't know what it was. But it would be you. A light-bending silica echo of a form that once negotiated with dissolved minerals and lost. That is not science fiction. That is what the physics actually predicts. And here is where it gets relevant to right now. Biosilicification research is one of the most active areas in biomaterials science today. Scientists are studying exactly how silica infiltrates organic tissue, not to understand fossils, but to design drug delivery systems. If you can control how silica coats and infiltrates a cell, you can build targeted capsules that deposit medicine in specific tissue without the drug affecting anything else. The opal-forming chemistry that would petrify you is being reverse-engineered to save lives. The same physics that would turn you into a gemstone is being weaponized against cancer. Every time someone says chemistry is dry, show them this. Silica is in your blood right now. It is in every glass of water you drink. Your body has a dedicated molecular defense system against it. And the moment that system fails at scale, the moment concentration exceeds what your cells can negotiate, the same process that built a 6 million-year-old stone begins building inside you. You are not separate from geology. You are geology that learned to argue back. For now, if you want more science that sounds illegal to know, subscribe and hit the bell. Next video, we go somewhere even stranger.